Beautiful morning here at the Chang International Circuit at Buriram in Thailand. We are set for a fantastic 1 hour of racing this afternoon, and the story is really bring it on. What we need right now is to hear from the Thai drivers ahead of their home race, and they're interviewed by Claire Jedrick.
I'm here with Prita from Racing Spirit. Now, Prita, tell us, is there any pressure? You're the only Thai driver in the GT4.
Well, I have a good partner, Mankong. He's a good driver, so therefore I think we have some pace in the wet, especially. My partner never been on the car before, so it's his first time, and he's doing some good lap time in the dry, 147s, and in the wet we managed to do 159s, so not bad.
This circuit is like my hometown, but I didn't race in Thailand for 2 years, so it's a little bit new to me, but then I think the conditions is still the same. In the dry, the car is very stable, the torque and everything is fine. In the rain, it's very fast. In the rain, the aero and everything else, I think it's matched with the track.
Overall, everything feel good at the moment, and I think if it's still this condition tomorrow, we will be fine. We will be fine.
Is there significance because you're kind of on home ground in Thailand?
Well, it's more of the pressure. Yeah, but well, everybody expect me to do well, but I think everyone knows the track here as much as me. So, well, I will do my best. The Porsche is, of course, always good in the rain, but you know, when you say it's rain in Buriram, it's very strange. So something new for everyone. It's not like, you know, it's our home race and then everybody get advantage out of it. So we'll see.
It always be like this. The weather forecast says it's like the summer storm gonna come in like a few weeks ago, but it never come. But apparently it's arrived now. So I think we should be fine. We will be fine.
In terms of the car and the setup and the driving, as compared to the other manufacturers, how do you think the Porsche are going to do if it stays wet?
I think we would be good. We will be good. Because everyone kind of say the Porsche is kind of good in the rain. So we see.
The grid is starting to be cleared. The good news, it's dry. You can see umbrellas down there to keep the heat off the driver's head. But beforehand, the local drivers in particular seem to understand what weather may be approaching. But on Thursday, heavy rain and wind. Yes, extremely heavy rain, but without the wind at this point in the afternoon. I think we may get away with it. Will we have another rocket start from pole? Not necessarily. It's 3 abreast, 4 abreast behind, and it looks as though number 918 is starting to make the moves. Fujikorn in through Fuvasak around the outside, out beyond the circuit, and likewise 910 I think was a little bit wide, but certainly for Daryl O'Young, second meeting running. He's taken that pole position, turned it into the lead of the race, but he's challenged the two Porsches, really trying to get in on the action, but 911, Tanat Sathian Thirikul is in front, but he's on the outside line. Is he going to lose a place because the 918's coming up? But as long as Daryl O'Young can hold his line coming out, he'll be in front, except with his nose edging ahead by going over the curbs on the exit of turn 3. Tanat Sathian Thirikul was not to be denied. Really good exit from turn 1. That allowed him to get the power down. A little bit of a slipstream off Daryl O'Young. But as they come up to turn 4 for the first time, O'Young's a little bit wide. Sathian Thirikul pulling another second or a fraction of a second further clear. And now O'Young being challenged around the outside, but a bit of a fumble there. Going backwards at the moment, it's Philippe Descombe, good in qualifying. But now you can see the first two have made a break, that stumble, a challenge for third place. Third trying to go to second from 912, which is Wan Bo. All went wrong. He went off the track a little bit, and it's got everyone else behind off the tail of the lead too. So dream start for Daryl O'Young. until he got to turn 3, and then he was passed by Tanat Sathyanthirikul. So all changing at the front end of the field. Great start for Sathyanthirikul. He's getting used to that life at the very sharp end of the grid. 4.55 kilometres nearly completed, because when they get to the line up ahead, the start-finish line, that is lap 1 completed. It's Porsche from Mercedes, from Porsche, from Porsche, from Mercedes. A good start for number 97. Has gone from 7th to 5th. So Roelof Bruins racing under the nickname of MG Choi. We have the Porsche in front and the Craft Bamboo Racing in behind. You can see a lot of cars running wide out of turn 7 over the curb. In the background, they're behaving a bit better towards the tail of the field. Little battle, 9-10 of Chao Li, getting a bit muscled out. He gained loads of positions, now he's handing a whole lot back again. Started down in 17th, so looks like he's got as far as 9th. Looks like he's fallen back to 11th, so busy times. This is fast moving, almost at the end of their second lap. Race leading duo going through, no change. Sathyanthirikul from Ouyang. That final corner so tight, you can see Chao Li gained all these places. Now he's handing them back to 9th, and now he's back down to 12th. Very busy. Blink, and you miss it. Fastest lap of the race by the smallest of fractions. The driver in second place, Daryl Ouyang. That means he's fighting back. Oh dear, a spinner. Unfortunately, the 888 Mercedes, that's Jeffrey Ibrahim at the final corner. I said it's tight, and there you can see all the GT4 runners. They're being led in class. No surprise there by Takayuki Kinoshita. Everyone close in behind, but
it is blisteringly hot, and we don't actually see any rain, which was supposed to come on through. I actually missed the beginning of the start. Tanat's obviously fabulous start there. Yeah, pouncing on Daryl Young, Yembo, and Descombs. But yeah, this looks like everything that I see out on circuit. It's really starting to spread out with your front runners in the mid pack. As we see it on the screens, car number 61 looks like the McLaren.
That's Pitty Birimbaktin. He's gone round at turn 5. In fact, he's now managed to hook a gear, but by this stage, he's got the GT4 runners upon him. In fact, he's slotted in about 2 or 3 seconds behind the recovering Jeffrey Ibrahim. So they're completely out of the running. And here Claire, you can go over the curbs, can go over the white line. You'd be penalised if you do that a lot, but at turn 5, lots of space, but it is a corner a lot of drivers go for spins at.
Well, we did notice as well that the Mercedes cars were running very wide, especially in the second sector. And this sector's here in the second sector, it's about rhythm, this circuit. Once you lose the rhythm, you lose that feel for connecting the dots. So it's very important for these drivers to keep it on the circuit and not get stuck in their gravel. If not, it's game over.
There is the 911 in the lead of the race. 99 giving chase, but now Daryl Ouyang in that white, green and grey Mercedes has got plenty of company because Wan Bo is right on his tail in the number 912 Porsche. So it looks like the first two had escaped, didn't have to worry, they could just pull each other clear of the rest. Not the case anymore because the second of the Absolute Racing Porsches. Right, we have an answer. They're quick in the steward's office. We talked of potential pit stop, minimum time transgression. It's been approved that he's got a 6-second stop and go penalty. So now, just have a look at this replay. This is getting quite feisty between the 27 Hub Auto Corsa Ferrari Yuya Sakamoto going up the inside of Wear and Tan, giving him a whack at turn 3 and tucked in behind Wei-An Chen, seeing what he can do about it. But some really tough racing. And now we've had a bit of a change of position because Roelof Bruins, 5th place wasn't good enough for him. 4th place wasn't good enough. He's gone into 3rd. Now he's all over the tail of Daryl Ouyang. So the Solite Indigo Racing Mercedes, not the bright, colourful one, the dark one on just behind the graphic on the left of the screen with the white flash over the roof, is making massive ground. And now they're among the GT4 runners. .1 seconds is now the gap between our race leader Tanat Sathyanthirikul and Daryl Ouyang's Mercedes. This is the battle on our screen that's so tight for 6th, 7th and 8th. 2 Audis with the Hub Auto Corsa Ferrari, the best of the Ferraris in 8th place, anxious not to stay there. Then a little bit of a gap back to the 666 Lamborghini from Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. Alex, have a look at the replay. That was a very tight indeed. Wear and Tan, he's been used as a braking marker point by several other of the rivals. So the 999 Audi has done it. The number 27 Ferrari has also given him a bit of a clatter, but still in 6th place, hanging on, Wear on Tan. And now a change for 2nd place because Roelof Bruin somewhere around the track went past Darrell O'Young. Not just past, he spent about 5 laps trying to shape him up, but he's passed. And how far clear? He's 1.3 seconds ahead of Young. So for our pole sitter, not bad to worse, but good to not quite as good, I think is what we can say at the front of the field. Yellow flag has been superseded at turn 5. I think a lot of warnings on one of our other timing screens for people exceeding track limits. Turn 7 is the famous one at the moment. That's the one during the race they're going for, and a few going off at turn 1, the opening corner of the 12. But certainly Chris van der Drift, the Kiwi racer who's done so much of his racing in Asia, was a superstar at Sepang, particularly when the conditions were really, really tricky when the rain fell. But right now he's got a dry track. Might have expected a wet track. It's been raining here after lunchtime for the last 2 days and in considerable ferocity. Bruin off Bruins. 4.1 seconds down on Tanat Sathyanthirikul. And his last lap, he took, I think there was traffic involved. Oh, in fact, it was coming into the pits. That's why Sathyanthirikul, the gap went from 6 seconds to 4 and a bit. Well, that's about as close to the middle of this 1 hour race as you can get with 30 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock. So the 911 in from the lead. Don't forget that'll be 15 seconds extra at the standstill before Philip Hamprecht can take it over. So having come in from a tidy lead, let's call it 6 seconds.
And what a race this is really turning out to be. You know, the sense of what's going on down in the pit lane is that the drivers are having a very frustrating time out on circuit, not just from track conditions, but from tyre conditions. And it's a lot hotter, even for the tyre drivers, than they actually expected. So they're all really struggling out there on circuit to not only just find the grip, really just keep it on the circuit.
Yeah, you can see it from our lofty commentary position. Understeer is the order of the days, and you see drivers who would normally be managed to turn into tricky corners like turn 5, just going out wide. And I think that's led to a lot of the little body rubbing we've seen out on the circuit. New improved race pace from the race leader, 9.2 seconds clear. The driver down who's setting the fastest lap by fastest lap is Yasemin Jafar. Don't forget we saw the 888 Mercedes going for a spin, I think it was on the opening lap down at turn 12, the final corner. Fought its way back, had the great battle with the APSA McLaren. Drivers have changed over, and Yasemin Jafar, well, he's nearly 10 seconds down on Kantasak Kusiri, 13th and 14th, but fastest lap after fastest lap, a second faster than anybody else on the circuit. It's pretty much for nothing, though. There, turn 7, you can see yet again drivers running wide. The driver of the number 13 Audi, Frankie Chen Kongfu, he's already been warned for track limits. Car number 16 was the most recent one to be warned, which is Benny Simonsen. Wow, that is incredible. This is the comparison on the screen, lapping nearly, well, 9/10 of a second faster than the race leader on consecutive laps. Yasemin Jafar in 14th, but actually both of them running on clear track at the moment. So for now, in that protected second place, Philip Hamprecht certainly made a splash into the opening round. Here is the battle for second and third, but having fallen back behind the Panics Imperator, he's trying to interrupt them again. He's trying to get past the Estonian. He does out of turn 3, so all the work that poor old Martin Rump. But let's talk about Andre Heimgartner. He was some distance behind, and now the Ferrari racer up from New Zealand is right in with this battle. I'm beginning to wonder if Martin Rump even knows the Ferrari is in the battle, but what we have is second, third and fourth, but the Porsche in the second in that group, 918, is the interloper. It's a lap down. I'm not sure entirely that Martin Rump will go and shake Alex Imperatori by the hand, maybe by the throat after the race.
Yes, a little bit of wrangling. So that has actually panned out quite well for Hamprecht on keeping that distance over there. Really, he should be getting out of the way there and moving off the line, which he has actually tapped him off the line there. Imperatori, if I'm not wrong, and he's fallen back there. So,
you could just sense the impatience, having got past close enough to finally challenge 911. Suddenly had the 918 in the mix, and Imperatori, well, he went up the inside and then was pushed off on the outside, and suddenly here comes Andre Heimgartner. Over the years, most accustomed to seeing him racing those big V8 Super Tourers down in New Zealand, his native country, and in Australia, with increasing success, and now he's really, really taking to the battle to see if he can get the final step on the podium. Top Pro-Am runner is in 7th place overall, Frederick Schandorf. Oh, and a car that Andre Couto has just lost that 6th place and limping in. This is a team that can't buy any luck this year. This is the car that caught fire. So Wei and Chen started, was going very well, and limping its way in towards, well, off the edge of the circuit. Oh, cruel luck there for Andre Couto. Just up into 6th place and now over and out for them, I'm afraid.
Well, that'd be quite interesting to see what actually happened to Couto, because it doesn't look like from here that he has a tyre blown or anything. He just kind of let loose. There's another car out on circuit.
Yeah, well, that's actually Couto.
Oh,
we're just looking
Couto
at
there.
just out of turn 11, 12-turn circuit. He's off the edge of the track.
Is this the battle for 2nd for Humprecht, or could he be back into 3rd and 4th, or it could be the other way around? It could be for 2nd, or it could be for 4th position.
Yeah, what we need, there's no traffic, particularly in front of them, and for Heimgartner, as they were all fighting with a 9:18, a lap down, but in the mix, he was able to get on their tail. I don't know that he's actually got the pace even to stay with them. There's the 9:18, a lap down in the background, and the yellow, just seeing where Henk Kicks is. He's no longer, he took over the class lead from Bilski, his teammate, but can't keep the AM honours at the moment. It's now in the hands of Vatana Motorsports, the Thai team heading for AM victory. Now, lights ablaze from Martin Rump. Oh. Is he in front? Yes, he is. Is he on the outside? Yes, he is. So he will not be able to take that 2nd place. He'll give it his all. Whereas Andre Heimgartner took the tighter line through turn 3. Now trying to get a bit of a slipstream up the gentle rise towards turn 4. Turn 4 is the passing place, but if he can put the pressure on Humprecht, maybe Rump can make him go a little bit wide into turn 4. Oh, Humprecht's too good for that. Keeps it beautifully on the track, so there's going to be no possible passing manoeuvre into turn number 5. The Ferrari getting closer and closer in behind, as I think the Estonian probably is just a sea of turmoil and fury in his car. It's been very frustrating. A minute to go, and you have to say with 11.5 seconds clear, we know the identity of the winner unless disaster befalls Manuel Metzger. So for Erlof Bruins, he'll be hopping from foot to foot in the pit lane. He's took a 2nd place, his best result by far when we kicked off the championship at Sepang, but he could be standing on the top step here at Buriram and waiting for accelerating over the start-finish line. Starting what will be his final lap goes Manuel Metzger. Oh, Rump may not even finish in 3rd place, going through the final corner. Starting their final lap, the Hub Auto Corsa Ferrari can't get any closer without getting alongside and getting past. You're not going to do it into turn 1. Final lap of the race. Manuel Metzger, he backed off on that lap. 10 seconds, a mere 10 seconds, I ask you. Clear at the front of the field for Indigo Racing. It will be a nervous last lap, but they've just got to keep their cool because that's what their driver's doing. Manuel Metzger heading for a tip-top result, but 2nd place. Looks though it's now safe in the hands of Philipp Humprecht. Martin Rump had hoped to get it. His hope now is to keep Andre Heimgartner behind him. Now, Indigo Racing came good towards the end of last season. This could be their 4th podium position in their last 5 races in this championship, but most importantly it will be their first win. Manuel Metzger will know full well the pressure that he has of not fluffing it around this final lap, but as the field goes through the middle part of the circuit for Manuel Metzger, he is nearly back at the end of the circuit. He's got 2 more corners to go, goes past a back marker through turn 10. There he is, past Andre Couto's car right now on the exit of turn 11, down to the final corner, and it's looking a very, very good result. Is going to turn into the first win for Indigo Racing, for Erlof Bruins and Manuel Metzger. Claire's going to race downstairs to catch them in Parc Fermé. We know the identity of the winner. Who's going to come home in 2nd place? It is going to be the 911 crew. Don't forget they sucked up 15 seconds of penalty. They're in 2nd. 3rd place, the best Audi, Martin Rump, right in behind the Ferrari of Heimgartner. John O'Lester should cross the line any second now in 5th place overall. The number 13 Audi didn't make it to the end of the race. That's pulled off at the side of the circuit. But let's go down with the winners. Claire is with them down in Parc Fermé.
And we have got the winners here, car 97, Metzger and Chai. What a fantastic win. Look at that smile on your face.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Ricardo did a great job. First stint, went from P7 to P2, had an amazing pace, and I had a gap of I think 8 seconds when I left the pits, and the car was just great to drive, very consistent. Big thank you to the team. Big thanks for Ricardo. What a day.
Ricardo, what an amazing job setting him up for that.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the struggle in qualifying, this result is fantastic. First win for the team, first overall. I mean, can't be more happy.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much. You can just sense the feeling of satisfaction. You can be close, but when you actually nail it, they can't take that away from you. So for Roelof Bruins and for Manuel Metzger, there we are. Victory confirmed. 9 seconds clear of Tanart Sathian Thirikul and Philip Hamprecht, who really did an astonishingly good performance to suck up the 15 seconds extra in their pit stop. Wear and Tan and Martin Rump, they were in the wars, but they were right at the sharp end of the field. Third place for them. 2.5 clear of Andre Heimgartner. Best of the Ferraris in 4th place overall, with Yuya Sakamoto having a really good run in the first half of the race. Credit too to Alex Au and Frederick Schandorf taking victory in the Pro-Am class in 6th place overall. And a really good run. Best of the Lamborghinis by some margin in the race, so they were 6th. And 5 seconds or so clear of the T2 Motorsports Ferrari. JRM Porsche up and down the order, but in the end 8th. Open Road Porsche started from the outside of the front row, but still a great result for 9th for them, with Philippe Descombe making quite a splash. And ARN Racing, new to Porsche this year, completing the top 10. So plenty of racing wherever you looked out on the circuit. Several fallers in the early laps, but among the 3 GT3 runners who fell down to the tail of the field, I think special credit to Jasmine Jafar in the 888 Mercedes. Made it back to 12th overall, fell to 30th, up to 12th, fastest lap of the race after fastest lap of the race. And so some satisfaction after the disappointment of that rotation very early on.
In first position, car number 97, Roelof Bruins and Manuel Metzger.
A first victory for the team on the top step of the podium. They're becoming podium veterans, but they know full well the top step is the best one, so they'll know how to fire the champagne. People keep out of the way. It's hot enough and sticky enough down there without the spray in your face, down your shirt. But joy unbounded for Manuel Metzger, and certainly the satisfaction for MG Choi there. Beautiful morning here at the Chang International Circuit at Buriram in Thailand. We had the first of our 2 races yesterday, second one coming up very soon indeed. 30 cars assembled here, 8 Thai drivers, 3 Thai teams making a real stirring of the pot. The forecasters predicted it yesterday. It was surefire, they said. Rain on Thursday, rain on Friday, sure after lunch to have rain yesterday. We didn't get it. We had sunshine during the race. But let's go down to the driver who took one of the 2 wins at Sepang. He qualified on pole. His name is Alessio Picariello. He's with Claire.
Alessio, amazing at qualifying. You're in pole position today for GT3. Now, today is very important. You don't have a time penalty. You ended in 13th yesterday. Overall points, you're 6th. So things are looking in your favor.
Well, yeah, yesterday's race was a little bit hard. Jeffrey had contact with another car and in the second lap, and basically the car afterwards was pretty badly damaged. So for us, we just had to try to finish. The pace wasn't great, but we could score some points. We have shown great pace in all weekend, so let's see what we can do this race starting from the pole. But I think, yeah, we can do something decent, and yeah, we will see.
Well, the real competition, I think, is on the actual championship table, and I can see that you need to get past Rump and Weyron today to make sure points that you're ahead.
To be honest, I'm not looking at the championship yet. I just want to win races, then we will see.
Spoken like a winner. Thank you.
It's going to be an absolutely cracking start. They're being held. The last car's round the final corner, and finally red becomes green. And it looks like the pole driver Alessio Picariello is blocking out the inside, but Alexander Imperatori up the inside. Bit of a clash further back. I think it was the number 13 Audi. Bit of bodywork being thrown over towards pit wall, but the pole man in front, Yasemin Jafar, held on to second place around the outside. And Alexander Imperatori made that bid for the lead, started 3rd, but is back in 3rd place now. And no place is gay. Yasemin Jafar looks like he's pulling level. He is with Alessio Picariello, but he's on the outside, and you're not going to get any change out there. Don't leave the door open, though, Yasemin, because up the inside will go the Porsche, but not quite for Alex Imperatori. Very clean through turns 1, 2, and 3. Turn 2 is just a little kink to the left, but the first 3 running in that grid order. And the number 59 Audi 4th on the grid is running in 4th. Katasak Kasiri holding on to that place, and it looks as though Chris van der Drift is now up from 7th, challenging for 5th place. Yeah, one of the Porsches way behind the field trying to work out as Hamprecht, who's had problems too. So he's had a puncture also. So there was contact probably up at turn 3, because certainly for the number 12 Audi, it was limping by the time it came to turns 4 and 5. So maybe we can conclude that number 12 and 912 came together. Can't be sure, but both of them in trouble and effectively out of the reckoning. Certainly not out of the reckoning is the driver of 88. He won the opening race at Sepang a month ago, and Alessio Picariello, don't forget. Okay, Claire, let's talk about those driver penalties, because pit stop penalties, extra 5 seconds for car number 97. That's yesterday's winner, Manuel Metzger. He's down in 9th place. So at his pit stop, he's got an extra 15 seconds to serve. Number 911, that has actually...
Tennant and Hamprecht.
Of course, is Hamprecht. He doesn't need a pit stop penalty because he's just had the problem and an extra pit stop. He's out of the running. And also 5 seconds added to Martin Rump. He too is out of the running. So the only one in the front group that's got any penalties at all, well, just looking out of our window to the far distant to turn 3, and I think Chris van der Drift may have made that move stick. Certainly we can see the car in the lead of the race, Alessio Picariello. This is the GT4 battle we're looking at on our screens, and it's Sunaka Jakuchu leading the class. Jean-Marc Merlin absolutely fired up by his first GT4 win since 2017. So there is our race leader. I just wanted to get clear vision there, and it just shows the advantage, Claire, that Alessio Picariello has got. GT4 honours still in the hand of the BMW team Studi crew. But a lot of these little battles, when they're close and you've got the leading GT3 runners come through, can suddenly be broken up. But it's still Jakuchu from Merlin and Chong in the GT4 grouping. Alan Year sharing with Angelo Negro this weekend, holding on to that 4th place in class. The sister car is 3rd in class, but is half a minute up the road. Ringo Chong, far more experienced in this class, going well indeed. So there, we had 2 warnings earlier on for car number 16, Benny Siemenson's Porsche, running in 7th overall, drive-through penalty for track limits infringement. He obviously had the 2 warnings and the 3rd strike, and you're out. Oh dear, and 199's gone for a spin. Alan Yeo, he was 4th in the GT4 class and rotated, but there's plenty of space beyond the circuit, and he's getting going all over again. Limping back into the race. What we're seeing in these last few laps is Kansak Kasiri's now getting a move on. The number 59 Audi closing onto the tail of Frankie Chen Kong Fu. Maybe and in fact, particularly if Benny Simonson will report in and do a drive-through penalty, that will be off. He won't have to look in his mirrors anymore. And Kansak Kasiri, Thai driver desperately keen to do well at home, will be pressing on. The extra pit stop time for the number 97 Mercedes in 8th place, and the drive-through penalty for the number 16 Porsche in 7th place. That means a couple of other drivers are going to get into the top 10 all of a sudden just before their pit stops. It's the last 2 laps of Picariello were fantastic, or more to the point for Yafar, they weren't so good. And the advantage had been sitting around 5.5, 6 seconds. Suddenly it's 7.6 seconds.
To be honest, before the start of the race, we didn't know what to expect with the new track limits, as in race 1 the car was broken. So it was a bit of an unknown, but straight on the first 2 laps I could feel the car was good, and I didn't have to push over the limit to increase the gap, which was good. And yeah, now I think we have a comfortable gap. Let's see if Jeffrey can hold it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, certainly looking thanks very much, Claire. Certainly looking very good indeed for Jeffrey Lee. Car was damaged early in yesterday's race, but now all seems fine. But look what's happening behind, because Jeffrey Ibrahim has got company. He's got the 918 Porsche. We've literally gone in through Fuvasak, desperately keen to do well. He's running 3rd in his home race, but tucked in behind Li Chao as well. 2nd, 3rd and 4th covered by, well, really half a second between the 3 of them. But out front is the 88 Jeffrey Lee driven Mercedes. The car we're looking at there, yesterday's pole starting, Darrell O'Young. Let's see where he will come in, because he will be probably down about 18th position. He'll be pressing on. I'm sure he'll make up ground, but Christina Nielsen wasn't able to build any advantage at all in the first part of the race. Started way down the order. But let's hear from Claire. She's down with Alexander Imperatori, hot in the pits.
With me now I have Alex Imperatori. Now today's race, a lot cleaner, though Chris van der Drift did give you a run for your money as you were stuck between Jafar and Chris.
Yeah, it was much cleaner today. I actually took a good start, better than the 2 Merc in front, but I decided not to really try to go for anything stupid in the first corner here. It's always a bit tricky. We also know on the average of the lineup, we probably have a bit of an advantage. So, just trying to be safe and stay within distance of J-Fly Racing and Jasman. So, which we did. I think the pressures came a bit longer to come up than we expected. So at the beginning I had to watch behind for Chris, but then the car started to work well and we pulled away, stuck with the 2 guys in front, and now it's up to Rudicon to finish the job.
Great driving, good luck.
And of course, what isn't known by at the time was Alex Imperatori. His car was suddenly, there was a four-way battle for the lead, and suddenly it all came a little bit unstuck during the interview, and his car has come out of it rather well. And the replay will hopefully show us what went on. Oh, and just before we see that, the car showed the 55 Mercedes, Craft Bamboo Racing, Daniel Au taking over from Melvin Moe. He's gone for a spin, and Jeffrey Ibrahim was in the wars. He was fighting back from fourth, trying to get back to third, but clearly missing a wheel on the 888 Racing Mercedes. All the work from Jasmine Farr. Here's a replay. First, second. This is first, second, and third. The 911 is a lap down, effectively. Now, where did the blow come? You've got 918. Gone in through a Fuvasak around the outside. You've got the silver Mercedes of Prince Jeffrey being given, well, you'd have to say no blame to Prince Jeffrey there. I'm afraid Jeffrey Lee pulled wide and gave him a clout on the exit of turn 3. Hadn't seen that in real time. You can see Brian Lee undoing all the work of Alessio Picariello, and suddenly what was a four-way lead battle does not include 888, does not include 88, so it means Vuitton in through Fuvasak is clear, and Chao Li lost ground in that incident as well, so suddenly he's 10 seconds down, and all it can do now is just pick its way back up the order, but is a lap down. So Claire, you were interviewing Alex Imperatori. He had no idea what was happening, and what we should do is hopefully have a second look at the replay, because it was very, very tight. And the 888 Mercedes was given a big clout by the number 88 Mercedes, with Jeffrey Lee getting it wrong. And suddenly, you were talking to Alex Imperatori, and his car was in the lead group, and suddenly totally in the lead of the race. So it's definitely an incident worth reviewing. I don't know if you've got to see it down in the pits, but coming up soon will be the replay of that incident at turn 3.
Well, I tell you what, I saw the results of it as I was just leaving. It was quite interesting. Just as I left the pits, actually, I saw the number 88. It was quite disastrous on his left hand.
Well, take a look at the replay on the outside. Talk us through this incident.
Okay, so we're just looking at the screens right now. We just see 88, and he went in quite close. We see the number 888. He's on the perfect line. 88 went right into him. It seems to be. Well, it looks quite obvious it was 88's fault.
Yeah, you'd have to say so.
It just ran straight into him and T-boned him. I'm not quite sure what happened there. If he lost, it looked like his rear end actually slipped out just a little bit. But yeah, that all happened very, very fast. I'm quite surprised. But like I said, it was 88's fault. 888, the brunt of that disaster. And I've got to say, I think it was settled, but never say never. What was... that'll be quite interesting to see what happened, and a lot of disappointment as speaking from
yeah, very well called there, Claire. Great description of how it happened, but I think you have to feel it was just an incident that was the fault of 88. As we say, oh dear, suddenly 9-10 from what should have been second place, Chao Li. All the work of Chris van der Drift. It seems the pro drivers did all the work in the early part of the race. They handed over and can't see what has happened. That's up on the inside at turn 3. I heard a little voice in my ear. I couldn't work out what was happening. We can only just see turn 3 in the far distance, but being tight on the inside of the track there, looks like mechanical failure of some sort. So let's just run down the top order. It now looks so it's Vuitton in through Fuvasak in the lead of the race. 912 has come from nowhere. Yuan Bo is up into second place, and just waiting to see. Third place is number 59 Audi. Just where you think there's an advantage. Well, it's a huge advantage. I'm going to write that down. Let's call that 11 seconds. 10.8 second advantage for the race leader. 918 over the 912 Porsche. So we're into the final. How did we suddenly get to the final 10 minutes of this race? This is an hour that's really, really flown. But it really has been a race of two halves. We had all the pros going at it, hammer and tongs in the first part of the race. And already we're forgetting the performance of Alessio Picariello, because he was supreme, confident at the head of the race. Yasin Manfar, really good job in second place. And both of them have cars that are out of the race. So, of course, there's a change. But 918 doing all it can, but still needs to be picked up by the safety car. The safety car only now is going around turn number 5 and 6. And the car it needs to pick up is the car it just has picked up, because there is 918 on its tail. So, Vuitton into Fuvasak. 3 cars between himself and Wambo. I'd failed to count rightly, but I think Buriram Bhakti fancies his chances. He's in third place at number 59 Audi. So it's a Porsche from an Audi. We're racing all over again. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, and the advantage for our race leader looks like it's about 2 seconds by the time they go through the kink at turn number 2. He's just got to play it safe, but Vucicon into Suvasak, cool character, desperately keen to win anywhere, but if he could do so on home ground, this will be a magical result for him, and certainly make up for some of the disappointments of yesterday when they didn't get in among the point-scoring cars. 2 seconds clear of the start-finish line. Looks like he's actually eked a little bit more of an advantage. They come over the rise. There is turn 3 out of the shot in the background. Over the crest, turn 4, quick left-hander negotiated great start. And the good news is for Wan Bo is that he's managed to get clear in second place. No one to trouble him. Who's in third? Oh, being cut across. Jeffrey Lee took the nose off Buriram back to his Audi as he turned into turn number 5. So the car, hoping to get close to Bo, is not going to do so. And down the back end of the field is some very, very close action. 2, even 3 abreast through turns 5 and 6. But the advantage for the race leader through Suvasak looks as though it's going out all the time. But Wan Bo, actually second part of this lap, lights ablaze on the number 910, 912 Porsche. He's started to close in on the race leader. But look at the clock, 3.5 minutes remaining. Jeffrey Lee very close to obstructing the number 59 Audi in his hope for third place. But the first two, super. How far clear? About 3-4 seconds clear as they get to turn 12.
Yembo and Vidicon, of course, no strangers to racing each other. They have raced against each other for many years over different series. So Yembo knows that he can take on Vidicon when it comes to the Porsche.
Thought I spied a little bit of damage on the front of one of the cars. Often happens on a restart, but no damage at all to the 918 Porsche. Vidicon into Suvasak, stretching, well, it was 1.9 clear, but as I said, the second part of that lap, Wambo started to close in. It was 1.957 seconds, precisely 600ths taken off in the last part of the lap. 1.3 seconds, the gap between them as they go on to this, what will be the penultimate lap. One would think the number 8 Porsche limping in slowly. I thought I saw some damage on the cars, and that's Nagai, who clearly isn't going to finish the race at racing speed. Hiroaki Nagai limping into the pits, but all eyes on the first two Porsches, 918 ahead of 912. And suddenly into third place has come, what have we lost? Hold on a second. Yeah, the Ferrari has suddenly come through. There must have been a bit of a sort out involving number 59. Yeah, so suddenly we've got great run by Yuya Sakamoto, who's gone past Buriram Bhakti up into third place. So the Ferrari came good yesterday. Number 13 out of the race, as it was on the last lap yesterday as well. So unfortunately, lightning does strike twice. So
I'm keeping my eyes on the race lead, and I tell you what, we do know that Yembo is a little bit of a late breaker, and he's going to be using all of this to be trying to make up to Vidicon there in the 918 as we see him brake late and hard going into the last turn 12 there, and he's caught up. Will there be a slipstream for that last lap?
Yeah, so many place changes, not yet for the lead. It's down to 0.7 of a second. We've got enough time for this lap and one more. Just squeaked it in by a handful of seconds. Any other place changes? Yes, Roloff Bruins has gone up because Buriram Bhakti went back from third down to seventh. So Roloff Bruins is all about picking up the points. Sixth place pays points. You get 8 points for sixth place. Don't forget championship leader. And Bruins' next target is the Vincenzo Sospiri Racing Lamborghini, Alex Au, and I reckon in terms of pace he should be able to pick that one off. There is Au in the white Lamborghini, trying to go not around the outside but get the better exit from turn 3. That would be the tactic for Olof Bruins in the 97 Mercedes. First to second, it went from 1.9 to 1.3 seconds, down to 0.7 of a second on the start-finish line. 918, Vucicon in through Suvasak, pushing very, very hard indeed. Never a winner in the championship, but he could be doing it this time around. So close.
I tell you what, this is perfect though for Bruins though, because when it comes to it, to the next race, there isn't going to be any time penalties if you can keep this pace. So this strategy-wise, cruise and collect.
Cruise and collect, but the ultimate place for him is the first one behind the penalty, so up to fourth place will be his target. But of course, this, the penultimate lap, has it through Husak got enough in hand. Oh, Wambo braked too late in the twisty bits. He lost about probably at least half the margin that he worked so hard to chisel away. But again, very happy to carry huge speed through the right-hander of turn 11. Again, braking later than Husak into the final corner, turn 12. Who's going to be too wide? Both very under control, but is that all? Well, suddenly why all the swerving on the start-finish straight there? Very, very strange indeed. This is the final lap. I wonder if he thought that was the final lap, because certainly Wambo, or else maybe he thought something was amiss with his car, but certainly this is the final lap. There's the graphic at the top of the screen. And Wambo 0.8 of a second back. But the real battle now is actually the battle for second place, because Yuya Sakamoto has got Wai-An Chen in the 999 Audi right on his tail. I still don't understand what Wan Bo was doing with the swerving on the start-finish straight. You can see the race leader, Vucicon Suvasak, going absolutely straight out of the final corner, out of turn 12, going in a straight line and weaving in a serpentine fashion. Well, I suppose that is how you weave. Just having a quick look at the classes. Down in GT4, Takayuki Kinoshita, but he's only is in the lead, but only by 1.4 seconds. And on that lap, changed second place in GT4 class with number 11, Brian Lee, moving ahead of Setia Juan Santoso. But it looks as though on this, the final lap, there's enough in hand, surely, for our race leader, Inthra Suvasak. Wan Bo in the 912 Porsche can get close, but not close enough, surely, to the 918 car that is leading the race. It's going to be Porsche from Porsche, and it looks like it's going to be Ferrari in that third place.
I think it's a case now of whose tyres are cooked the most, and I think Yembo has cooked it on the chase and the down low as we're coming into the last turn there for the first two on the grid.
Yeah, it's looking as though that is how it will be, but no disgrace in finishing in second place for Wan Bo. So there is the checkered flag. Sakamoto will finish third in the white Ferrari from Hamilton Corsa, chased all the way by Wai-An Chen. Who's going to finish in fifth? It's going to be Alex Au just ahead. But right there, Vucicon and Suvasak, winning anywhere is good. Winning at home is many, many times better. So he will certainly be relieved.
Well, I have to say thanks to Alex and the team that, Alex brought the car back nicely and with a very good position. So after that, I think I overtook two cars, and afterward I didn't expect the safety car gonna come out because we created a lot of gap already. So that was a bit nervous because the car has a bit strange feeling already because of the grip of the track at the last moment. Yeah.
We're gonna savor that one at home. Great. I'm very happy for the fans who came to support us today. And really great job by Woody. It was really nail-biting until the end. I think we could really have done without that last safety car, but it turned out well, so let's enjoy this one.
Congratulations, guys.
Let's draw breath and take a look at the results after the second of our two races here at the Chang International Circuit. Alexander Imperatori and Vucicon and Suvasak, victors today by 0.9 of a second, but don't forget they were way clear until that final safety car. But John O'Lester started, and Wan Bo took second place in the 912 Porsche, and third was by stealth. Andre Heimgartner started, and Yuya Sakamoto third for the Hub Auto Corsa Ferrari. Best of the rest, Andre Couto and Wai-An Chen in their Audi, fourth overall. Frederick Schandorf and Alex Au, good strong weekend for them this weekend, finishing in fifth. And the top six completed by yesterday's winners, Roloff Bruins and Manuel Metzger. Vital championship points for them as they lead the series. And they'll go home from Thailand very, very happy indeed, because to get one result is great, but to get two is vital towards the championship. And they will have no success penalty to take to Japan for round three when we head to Suzuka. So for Indigo Racing, it's been like the dream result here. They couldn't take a win today, but they did really the next best thing in terms of their championship challenge. Top car in the AM class, as I pointed out, in 11th place overall was the Be Quick Racing Audi. So Henk Kicks and Daniel Bilski be very, very pleased with life indeed. Second in the AM class went to Asavahami in the 128 Vitana Motorsports Lamborghini, and third in that class went to Andrew McPherson in 15th place overall, AMAC Motorsport Lamborghini. But for Panthera AS Motorsport, great results here. And the GT4 honours, it came down to, I'm going to have to look at the screen, 3 laps down. But what was the gap between Kinoshita at the end? 0.39 of a second was the gap between first and second, as Brian Lee was really, really attacking. But the BMW held on only just, but the record books will show it's another win in the bag. Will certainly pushed very hard by the number 11. Mercedes in 21st and 22nd positions, and Frank Yu, victor in class yesterday, has to make do with third place overall in the GT4 class. There's Alex Imperatori delighted, and Vucicon appears to have brought a photograph of, the photograph of the King of Thailand. That is exactly right. A Thai driver winning here in Thailand. No wonder Vucicon and Suvasak is so excited down there. And shake of the hands and the trophies presented by Patrick Pan of Pirelli Motorsport. And all the sweeter for Vucicon up on the top step of the podium there. You can see the delight on his face And no small amount of relief, of course. It's super competitive in the Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia, and they came out at the top of the tree. That pretty much is that from us here at the end of round 2 of the Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia. Do make sure you join us at the end of June when we head to Suzuka. It's been fun. I've been Bruce Jones.